Single dad opened his home in a storm, unaware the woman was a CEO who'd soon love him. Part 1 Extended. The rain didn't slow, it intensified. Wind howled against the small house, rattling the windows like it wanted to get inside too. Ethan set the coffee mugs on the table, steam rising between them as if trying to warm more than just their hands. Sorry about the mess, he said automatically, nudging a stack of Lily's coloring books into a neater pile. Storms always make this place feel smaller. Claire wrapped both hands around the mug, absorbing the warmth. It's perfect, she said before she could stop herself. She meant it. The house wasn't polished. The couch sagged slightly in the middle. One lamp flickered when the thunder grew loud. But there was something here she hadn't felt in years, life. Evidence of laughter. Of someone caring enough to try. Ethan noticed her eyes lingering on the photos along the wall. A woman with kind eyes and a wide smile. Lily is a toddler, sitting on Ethan's shoulders. A family frozen in happier time. My wife, Ethan said quietly, following her gaze. She'd passed 2 years ago. Claire's breath caught. I'm so sorry. He nodded once. Me too. Silence followed, not awkward, just heavy. Respectful. Lily climbed onto the couch, wrapping herself in her blanket like a cocoon. Mommy used to sing when it stormed, she said softly, eyes on the window. But Daddy makes hot chocolate instead. Ethan smiled. Because I can't sing. Claire smiled too, but her eyes glistened. I know a storm song, Claire said gently. If that's okay. Lily's eyes lit up. Really? Claire nodded, then hummed, soft, low, comforting. Not flashy. Not perfect. But steady. Ethan froze where he stood. The sound filled the room like warmth. Lily relaxed almost instantly, her shoulders dropping as she leaned back against the couch cushions. Within minutes, her breathing slowed, eyelids fluttering. She's asleep, Ethan whispered. Claire stopped humming, surprised, and moved carefully as Ethan lifted Lily and carried her to the small bedroom. Claire stood in the doorway as he tucked his daughter in, brushing damp curls from her forehead with practiced tenderness. You're a good father, Claire said quietly. Ethan paused. I just do what I can. That's more than most people, she replied. Back in the living room, the storm surged again, lightning flashing so bright it lit Claire's face. Ethan noticed the faint shadows under her eyes now, the strain she'd hidden so well. You look exhausted, he said. You can rest here tonight. Storm like this won't clear fast. Claire hesitated. Every instinct she had screamed caution. She never stayed anywhere unplanned. Never relied on strangers. Never surrendered control. But this wasn't a penthouse with security. This was safer. Thank you, she said. I won't be any trouble. Ethan shook his head. You're already not. He handed her a dry sweatshirt, plain, soft, clearly worn. It's clean. Might be big. She slipped it on, sleeves covering her hands. The fabric smelled faintly of laundry soap and something comforting, home. I'll take the couch, she said. You're the guest, Ethan replied. I insist. They shared a look, neither backing down, until Ethan sighed. Fine. We'll flip for it, she laughed quietly. The sound surprised them both. They settled eventually, Claire on the couch, Ethan in the armchair nearby, stormlight flickering between them. The television murmured softly, forgotten. So, Ethan said, breaking the silence. What kind of work brings someone like you out here? Claire's smile faded just a touch. Business consulting. Not a lie. Just, not the truth. That sounds stressful. It is, she admitted. Sometimes it feels like my whole life is meetings and decisions that affect people I never see. Ethan nodded slowly. Must be hard. And you? She asked. What do you do? Mechanic. Local shop. Her eyebrows lifted. You stopped for me in this storm without hesitation. He shrugged. Didn't feel like a choice. Something stirred in her chest. No one had said that to her in years. Thunder rolled again, closer this time. Claire startled despite herself, fingers tightening in the blanket. Ethan noticed immediately. Hey, he said gently. You're safe. She met his eyes. And for a moment, she believed him. Hours passed quietly. The storm eventually softened, rain turning from violent to steady. Claire's eyes grew heavy, but her mind raced. She wasn't thinking about emails or stock prices. She was thinking about a man who apologized for chipped mugs. About a little girl who trusted easily. About how peace could exist in places she'd never looked. Ethan watched her drift toward sleep, careful not to wake her. She murmured something, his name, barely audible. He looked away, heart pounding for reasons he didn't fully understand. Outside, the storm finally began to retreat. Inside, two lives had quietly shifted, neither of them aware just how much. And when morning came, the truth would change everything. But for now, there was only rain-soaked silence, borrowed warmth, and the fragile beginning of something neither had planned for. Single dad opened his home in a storm, unaware the woman was a CEO who'd soon love him. Part 2. Morning arrived quietly, like it didn't want to disturb what had formed overnight. Sunlight slipped through the thin curtains, touching the worn wooden floor and the edge of the couch where Claire slept, curled beneath a blanket that smelled faintly of fabric softener and safety. For a moment, she didn't know where she was, and then she remembered everything at once. The storm, the roadside, Ethan. She sat up slowly, heart steady but full in a way she hadn't felt in years. From the kitchen came the sound of gentle movement. A pan sizzling, the low hum of someone who didn't realize they were humming. Claire followed the sound. Ethan stood at the stove, sleeves rolled up, hair still messy from sleep. Lily sat at the table in her pajamas, swinging her legs as she colored. "Good morning," Lily said brightly when she saw Claire. "Daddy made pancakes. He makes them funny shaped." Ethan turned, momentarily startled, then smiled. "Morning. Hope the couch didn't attack you in your sleep." "It was perfect," Claire said honestly. She washed up, joined them at the table, and accepted a lopsided pancake shaped vaguely like a star. She hadn't eaten breakfast with anyone in years. Meetings usually came first. Coffee came second. People came later, if at all. This felt different. "So," Ethan said casually, "roads should be clear now. I can drive you to your car after breakfast." Claire nodded. "Thank you. I really appreciate everything you did." As she spoke, her phone buzzed on the table. Once, twice, then non-stop. Ethan noticed. Lily noticed too. "Is it important?" Lily asked. Claire froze. She glanced at the screen, dozens of missed calls. Messages stacked on messages. Names she recognized instantly. Board members. Executives. Her assistant. Panic flickered across her face before she masked it. Yes, she said quietly. "I need to take this." She stepped outside onto the porch. Ethan watched through the window as her posture changed. Her shoulders straightened. Her voice sharpened, not cold, but controlled. Commanding. The kind of voice people listen to. Something in his chest tightened. When she came back inside, she looked like a different woman. Still kind. Still calm. But guarded now. "I'm sorry," she said. "I have to leave. Immediately." "Everything okay?" Ethan asked. She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes. I mean, it will be." He didn't push. At the roadside, her car was already being loaded onto a flatbed tow truck. A sleek black SUV waited nearby, engine running. A man in a suit spoke urgently into a phone. Ethan stopped walking. Claire turned to him, guilt clear in her eyes. "Ethan," she said, "there's something I should explain." Before she could, the man noticed them and rushed over. "Ms. Reynolds," he said sharply. "We've been trying to reach you all night." The board. Ethan's world tilted. Ms. Reynolds. Claire Reynolds. The name clicked instantly. He'd seen it on the news. Business magazines. Billion-dollar deals. CEO of Reynolds Global Solutions. Claire saw the realization hit him, and it hurt more than she expected. "I didn't lie," she said softly. "But I didn't tell the whole truth." Ethan stepped back, shaking his head slightly. "You stayed in my house. Ate breakfast with my kid." "I know," she said. "And it meant more to me than you realize." The man cleared his throat. "The investors are waiting." Claire looked torn, but then she looked at Ethan. "Thank you," she said again, voice sincere. "For everything." She climbed into the SUV. And just like that, she was gone. 3 weeks passed. Life returned to normal, or what passed for normal. Ethan worked, picked Lily up from school, fixed the leaking sink, tried not to think about the woman who'd stepped into his life like a storm and disappeared just as fast. Until the news vans arrived. Cameras lined the street. Neighbors whispered. Lily clutched his hand as a woman with a microphone stepped forward. "Mr. Cole," she said brightly, "is it true you saved CEO Claire Reynolds during last month's storm?" Ethan's blood ran cold. Before he could answer, a familiar black SUV pulled up. Claire stepped out, No rain this time, no exhaustion. She wore a simple coat, no makeup, eyes focused only on him. The reporters surged forward, but she raised a hand. I'm here as a private citizen, she said firmly. Please respect that. Then she turned to Ethan. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. And a conversation. They stood on his porch, the same porch where she'd first felt safe. I never meant to drag your life into mine, she said. But I couldn't stop thinking about you. About Lily. About what it felt like to be normal. Ethan crossed his arms, not angry, just guarded. My daughter doesn't need chaos. Neither do I, Claire said. Which is why I'm here without cameras. Without security. Just me. Lily peeked out from behind the door. Hi, she said shyly. Claire knelt immediately. Hi, Lily. Lily studied her carefully. Are you still the lady who sings storm songs? Claire smiled, eyes shining. Yes, always. Something inside Ethan cracked. They talked. Slowly. Honestly. Claire admitted the loneliness behind her success. Ethan admitted the fear of letting someone close again. Neither promised anything. But when Claire stood to leave, Ethan said, you can stay for dinner. If you want. Her smile this time wasn't tired. It was hopeful. And for the first time, both of them wondered, not if their worlds could collide, but whether they were meant to.